The First Indochina War, a brutal conflict that lasted from 1946 to 1954, pitted the French colonial forces against the determined Viet Minh, led by Ho Chi Minh. Amidst the bloodshed and relentless guerrilla warfare, one weapon struck fear into the hearts of French soldiers: the three-pronged suicide bomb. This ingenious yet terrifying device became a symbol of the Viet Minh's unyielding resolve to free their country from foreign rule. After World War II, Vietnam became a battleground once more as the Viet Minh sought to expel the French and establish an independent nation. The war was not fought in traditional battlefields. It was a guerrilla war, where the Viet Minh relied on the knowledge of the terrain, the support of the local population, and unconventional tactics to counter the better-equipped French forces. French forces, though technologically superior, struggled against the elusive Viet Minh fighters. Tanks, an integral part of the French military arsenal, were powerful but not invincible. The narrow streets of cities like Hanoi and the dense jungles of rural Vietnam presented significant challenges for these armored beasts. It was in these conditions that the Viet Minh devised one of their most feared weapons, the three-pronged suicide bomb. The three-pronged suicide bomb, known in Vietnamese as Bom B8 Sung, was a simple yet devastatingly effective weapon. It consisted of three metal prongs attached to a central explosive charge. Each prong was designed to penetrate the thin armor of French tanks, particularly from the sides or rear, where the armor was weakest. The bomb was designed for close-quarters combat, requiring the ultimate sacrifice from its user. A Viet Minh fighter would approach a French tank undercover, often using the natural terrain or urban environment for concealment. Once close enough, the fighter would rush in the tank, thrusting the prongs into the armor before detonating the charge. The explosion, triggered by the user's actions, would incapacitate or destroy the tank, often at the cost of the fighter's life. This tactic was not only a physical attack on French military strength, but also a psychological one, demonstrating the Viet Minh's willingness to make the ultimate sacrifice for their cause. The use of the three-pronged suicide bomb had a profound psychological impact on French forces. The very idea that any civilian or guerrilla fighter could be carrying such a weapon made the French soldiers constantly wary, even paranoid, as they moved through cities and jungles. The knowledge that their armored vehicles, which were supposed to offer protection, could be destroyed by a single, determined individual, sowed fear and uncertainty among the troops. For the Viet Minh fighters who carried these bombs, the mission was more than just a military operation. It was a patriotic duty. The willingness to sacrifice one's life in the fight against colonialism was deeply rooted in the Viet Minh's ideology and the broader Vietnamese struggle for independence. The fighters believed that their sacrifice would inspire others and contribute to the eventual victory over the French.